Um, happy 2025. Today is the 2nd, I think, January. And we're finishing a video from May or June of 2024.
What's up?
The car is actually tested already, so this is not in chronological order at all. And the car is like, I did Super D with it. There's a whole separate story about that. But diff is semi, like, it's still the 3.6, and I've just put a 4.1 in it. Dude, Ollie is just. So anyway, this is the diff that's supposed to be in the car, but what I did is put a 4.1 in it, which is very, very expensive nowadays. It hurts how expensive those are now. So that's part of the reason I probably blew up that motor, because it was just sitting on the red line in third the whole time. But 3.6 is what I'm actually going to put in, and this is the diff for it. And this is where we kind of insert what we did in the past.
Okay, so I've been running M3 diffs for a while because I think 188s are just not stout enough to withstand. This is a 210 millimeter from an M3 E46, and then I've been running these repack kits from RacingDiffs. I've done 2 drift weeks with it and probably 200 track days on the same exact pack, and I don't have any issues with them. I'll just kind of go over what I'm doing. As long as you don't have any abnormal wear on your LSD, you should be just able to pop it in and enjoy. And don't even get me started on the welded diff, because I think if you're serious about driving and drifting and anything else, you should have an LSD, because it's a motorsport. Motorsports use LSDs. Controversial. You can get that clipped. I don't care. Comedy, baby. Comedy. Oh, yeah. So the next thing, obviously take these off, put them to one side and the other. And then the next thing you'll do, that's why I was talking about these shims right here on the side. That's what makes the carrier go one side to the other, because that's where the pinion is, and that's where the contact pinion and that is. I'm not like a diff professional. If you want, contact Stewie. He's incredible. But for the purpose of this, we're just assembling, disassembling. And the other thing that I'm going to do is just check for abnormal wear. If you see any marks on pinion or the ring, probably replace it. And then you're going to need probably help of like a real professional. Okay. So anyway, these are the shims that I was talking about. So all of these, both sides, and can't confuse them, or otherwise it's gonna. But they're different thicknesses, and from the factory they get measured. Everything gets set to the right offset, and then that should be it. Okay, so this is the actual LSD unit. All right. Really doing it. The pinion looks great, so that's good. The ring, the ring looks, it doesn't have any abnormal wear. You usually look for anything that just doesn't look uniform with the rest. That's what I'm looking at basically. So the next thing we're gonna do is take out these. Forgot what they're called. I think they're called crown bolts. Yeah, they're crown bolts, I think. Gen Z boss in the mini. So my mid torque Milwaukee is not powerful enough for this.
And then I couldn't get these bolts out because they put Loctite on them and then they tightened them to, I don't know, 120, I don't know what it is, a lot of foot-pounds. So I couldn't take them off and then insert. So I got those bolts out and then I left to Italy. For a month, and then I decided to stop doing some car stuff for a bit, and now we're kind of back. I finished the car. It runs, drives. It's actually very, very good. Pretty sure this engine is not happy. It's not supposed to do that. And now we're doing back LSD stuff. All right, let's kind of get to it. So I took off the ring, all these bolts. The next thing, dog. So the next thing, there's a video how to do this, but I've done this so many times already that, and then you take off these Allen keys. There's 4 of them to separate this shell basically, and then throw away the garbage and put the good stuff in. So, bam. Anyway, it's a number 4 Allen. Yeah. Bam! So that took way too much time. So these are the clutches and the plates. I'm pretty sure these are the OEM. Yeah. So the first thing you do is inspect this for any unusual wear, because that's how you know your diff is not good. So you just, and it goes clutch plate. And then another thing is you want to inspect this surface right here. I'm not a diff builder, but it's just kind of common sense type of thing. Ollie's still about his ball right now. He's really trying to get it. You know, this is a good lesson. It's 2025. You know, honestly, go get your ball. You know, like, don't let people tell you otherwise. Because if you don't get your ball, somebody else will get your ball. So, or, you know, yeah, ball. So, I did an easier way. I just, instead of taking it out one by one, I just flipped it upside down. It definitely works better. So the next thing you do is you inspect these spider gears for any damage. They should look smooth and they should be feel smooth to touch. There should be no abnormal wear on them. I totally forgot to clean the inside of it. So at least you don't have to do it like, you don't have to get crazy with it. Now this is the second set of these bad boys. Just pop them in there. Put some oil in it, on it, in it. Lubrication. This is great. So this is actually the most important piece. We're going to insert this before I was doing that. So as you can see, this one is like a spring loaded washer, and then that one is flat, and this fixes the clunk that comes with these diffs usually, and it makes it engage instantly rather than, and then you put that right there. I believe it's actually going this way. I gotta double check. And like always, lubricate everything. This is a mess. Put that in there. Make sure it's nice and spinny and it's correctly set. Yeah. And next, you pop that in. Spins. And then the second set of spins. And same thing, just make sure it's nice and snug in there. So the next thing is just pop these guys in. And that's that. Anyway, we're back. We're back, baby. We are so back. So now that spins, make sure you pop this plate in there. Very muy importante. Because otherwise your clutches will go against that. So don't do that. This is not a how-to video. Let me double. But check your work, you know? It's very important to check your work. That goes right there. And now we're gonna do this all over again. Stupid. And the last plate. This is take two. Take two. So make sure you have this shim out, don't need it. And this shim is for this end of it, but I'm not gonna replace it because I don't wanna replace the bearing because it's a one-time use and I'm not trying to do all that. But the proper way is to do that. This is a practice car, and I know Stewie will probably cringe right now. Looking at this, he'll be like, what are you, cringe or something? Now we just have to match up so these holes are actually offset slightly, so you have to find the right key for this. I don't know how to find this. I think this is the way. No. Is this the way? No. So 3 holes in between. This is it. So this is the tricky part, is because these holes are not evenly spaced. These 4. So you just did that. Just do it. Just do it. And I'll put. Probably flip it and make this simpler. It's me trying to be I don't think you have to lock tight these in because they can't really go anywhere unless your ring gear goes, because they're kind of sandwiched in between. Just check that you don't have any parts and spare parts, and just make sure you kind of know these are the old ones. And they're pretty good shape, and I'm probably probably not gonna save these, but they're in, like, somebody probably rebuilt this diff at some point, because the clutches are still like in great shape, and there's no like wear on the shims, so boom, throw that in there. Let her just sit there. So one thing that I did for this is on the ring gear I put a little arrow right there, and then I put one on the thing here. So now it's just going to be much easier to mate them together. Before you start pressing it in, I would highly recommend make sure your holes are centered. So that's what I usually do. I gotta do it. And then flip it upside down. Then grab a wooden block, which I'm gonna go get. This is not the proper way of doing this, by the way. You usually want to press this in, but don't hit it with anything. I don't have a mallet here, so I have to use what I do have. And just watch this gap right here. As soon as it cinches up, we're good. Alright, this is definitely not a how-to installation. So, but what I'm trying to prove is that you can do it by yourself, at least to this extent. There's a video on RacingDiffs YouTube, so you can just reference that. That's what I did, just so you know the thing here. So what I'm going to do now is put Loctite on these, take them out, put Loctite on these, and then start assembling the whole thing. So when you do this, obviously organize left versus right. Get some red Loctite, because I don't have any. We're doing this. Oh, dude, there's a C4. Open it.
People are going to be like, who's that dude?
Yeah, who's that dude? We need to find Loctite. Who's that dude? That's what we're here for. The top. Oh, we found the thing. That's good. Ask them for their permission. This is cringe, but this is 2025 and we're still cringe. $12 later.
Acquired.
We have acquired Permatex. No drip formula. Yeah, it's the best. I really like the gel ones.
Tastes good.
Tastes good. Goes on everything.
Speaking of tasting good.
Speaking, Hawaiian nectar, Fit Aid. Advertised. So yeah, hit me up. I really want, some help. Give me some help. Fit Aid, the best drink you can possibly drink. It's non-alcoholic, and then also this is non-alcoholic. So anyway, we're hand tighten these these things. This is nutritious and delicious, but don't eat it. So once you're done with that, just wipe your stuff and grab your little carrier deal. Obviously inspect the pinion. It should also be nice and smooth. Hopefully there's no damage on it. And just take this and slowly slide it in there. And then make sure that you're using the correct sides. I made sure. Oh yeah, everything's going well.
Wow.
Wow. Make sure the bolts line up. And then same thing on this end of this deal. Well, what I could do at this point is put 2 bolts in here to center it easier. And now I'm just gonna lean it to one side. Two of these bad puppies in there. Stand it up again. Should basically put all the bolts in here, back in here, and then put the stubs in. So the stubs go on, the short one goes on the diff mount end, and the more you know. We got Ramen. Oh, the reason why we don't have enough bolts is because there are bolts in here already. The more you know. On this side, it's just the same way that you basically disassembled it. It's exactly the same way. There's no real difference. So that's that. Put some 75 140 in there.
Unbranded.
Unbranded. But that's what it recommends. And then change it after a couple of track days. That's what I usually do, especially with new clutches. And then after that, just run it at normal intervals, whatever is. Like I usually do every 10 or so track days for diffs, but that's probably overkill. But yeah, that's how we do it. Ollie's getting crazy with this ball. He's like, let me get that ball. Anyway, so another thing that you should do so there's 2 gears. Basically, you have to line up so the splines are exactly lined up in order for you to put the longer version of this. Ollie, down. Hey, down. Stay. So there's 2 pieces of gear that goes onto this stub shaft, and what you want to do, sometimes it won't line up, even if you are putting this in. You may not line up exactly, so this one actually, like I just lined it up. So what you do is put I can actually demonstrate this. So now it won't go in anymore. So what you do is put 2 bolts on each one and then rotate it against each other while you're pressing, and then you'll feel it just slide in. So at that point, don't try to force it in. And at that point, it should be going in, no problem. Anyway, diff almost ready. All I have to do is press in new bushings for this. They're at the shop, and then put oil in it, and then ready to rip. And this also came with this upgraded 14 millimeter, I think, bolt. So, which is huge. You'll never get, because once in a while you do snap these, and then you have to extract them. So there's a little upgrade system that you just tap and thing. So this thing is ready to rip now. Just need to swap it in. 1000. Keeping the 1000. It's gonna be
Hey, what are you doing in my fridge?